This tutorial is for 4th grade, Module 5, Lesson 5. The directions say decompose each rectangle into the number of rows shown. Write the shaded area as both a sum of unit fractions and a multiplication sentence. This first problem has been started for us. We started with 1/4 of a shape shaded. If you look at each of these sections, it takes 4 to make the whole, and 1 has been shaded. So that's where we get our 1/4. Then we divided that shape into 2 rows according to the direction. When we did that, we divided the shape into 8 pieces. The 1/4 piece is now made up of 1/8 and 1/8. So 1/4 is equal to 1/8 plus 1/8. To show that as a multiplication sentence, we would say 1/4 is equal to 2 times 1/8, or 2 groups of 1/8. When I move to the next question, you can see nothing's been filled in for us. We have a fraction shown on the fraction model, and we need to find an equivalent fraction. So first we need to determine what is this shaded piece. Well, since there are 5 pieces that make up the whole and 1 piece is shaded, this column represents 1/5 of the entire shape. So we're going to find a fraction that is equivalent to 1/5. We're going to do that by dividing the rectangle into 2 rows. So I'm going to draw a line to divide this now into 2 rows. Instead of having fifths, each of these sections now is a 10th. And my 1/5 is made up of 2 pieces, and each piece is a 10th. That tells me that 1/5 equals 1/10 plus 1/10. To write that as a multiplication sentence, I would say that 1/5 is equal to 2 times 1/10, or 2 groups of 1/10. And that means, as an equivalent fraction, 1/5 equals 2 tenths. In my next question, I'm starting off with the fraction 1/3. There's 1 piece shaded out of the 3 that make the whole. I will be finding an equivalent fraction for 1/3. I'll start by dividing my rectangle into 4 rows according to the directions. And then if I look at my shaded portion, I can see I have 4 pieces. Each piece is 1/12 because it takes 12 of these pieces to make the whole. So the sum of the unit fractions would be 1/3 is equal to 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. As a multiplication sentence, we would say 1/3 is equal to 4 groups of 1/12. And then the equivalent fraction is 1/3 equals 4/12. In the next section, we're going to use the same logic to prove that 2 fractions are equivalent. So we have 1/2 is equal to 3/6. I'm going to start by showing 1/2 on my model. I'll divide it in half, and then I'll shade in 1/2 to show that fraction. In order to show 6ths on this same model, I need to divide the entire rectangle into 3 rows. That will give me 6 pieces in all. So you can see how 1/2 is the same thing as 3/6. We'll write that as the sum of unit fractions. 1/2 equals 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6. And you can see that in the model. Here's 1/6, another 6, and another 6. And the multiplication sentence then would be 1/2 is equal to 3 times 1/6. Let's look at one more problem. This one says 1/3 is equal to 4/12. I've already divided my rectangle into 3 equal pieces, and I shaded in one portion to show 1/3. In order to divide this into 12ths, I need to draw 4 rows. So I'll separate this into 4 rows. That gives me 12 pieces in all. Now the shaded part shows me 1/3 is equal to 4 groups of 1/12. We can write that as the sum of unit fractions. 1/3 is equal to 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12 plus 1/12. And as a multiplication sentence, 1/3 is equal to 4 groups of 1/12.